Lordy, lordy. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. I'm sure after last episode's morally questionable opinions, I'm talking to about half the people that I was before. I enjoyed doing that. I find a lot of enjoyment in making ridicule out of things that I really shouldn't and have no right to. Had a little pee before I sat down here because when I do another squirrel cast, I like to be focused. I don't like there to be biological or environmental distractions. The words need to flow, so that you, the good people, can hear everything without a filter of some other aspect of the world coming into it, including my bladder. Today, since it's the season, I think I'd like to speak about the seasons. And I'd like to point out that winter, while, in my opinion, living in Canada is the worst season, I need to hold a certain amount of disrespect for another season. A season that I think gets way overhyped every year. And that's fall. It's the basic bitch of seasons. Spring begets life. It's the end of winter, the end of hibernation, the melting of snow. It's new beginnings. Summer is the flowering of life. Hot days, not having to dress up in, 19 layers of winter stuff and winter boots, and you kind of just grab your wallet, grab your keys, and go. No thought required. It's barbecues and swimming pools and vacations and happy kids. I don't know how fall or when fall, when I was a kid, you could argue that we were all pissed off about fall because we had to go back to school. And our parents were happy about fall because at least they got us off their plates going back to school. But I don't know what happened. It never had the popularity it does now. And it's ridiculous. Fall is a season of dying. It's a season of endings. I mean, the changing of the leaves mean that leaves are dying. You're just cheering on death. I mean, I don't know what's so happy about that. Pumpkins are kind of gross. I'm sorry. They are. I remember in school being asked, when I was a very wee lad, to do pumpkin carving activities at the school. And one of the parts I hated the most was the smell of the pumpkin and the goop, the innards of the pumpkin. Ugh. Still don't like to look at it or smell it. To this day, not a fan of pumpkins. And I don't know which marketing genius / Bond villain invented pumpkin spice, but just ruined. It was never about pumpkin spice. Now it's all about pumpkin spice and Ugg boots and sweater vests and dark blue jeans, flannel shirts. I guess I don't know. Is everybody that sweaty outside in summer? Is everyone unable to deal with a 25-degree day? Like, it's so difficult. And a lot of the people that I know, it seems that yes, they kind of get outside and they go, oh God, the heat, just sweating by breathing. It's like, man, have a cool glass of sweet tea or something. Like, just relax. It's like everybody needs to be holding a coffee all the time. And I guess it's true that autumn is the only season where you can kind of stand outside and hold a coffee and not freeze to death. But what? I still associate this with school starting. So I don't know why it's so popular. It kind of drives me a little nuts. Cooling down weather. I'm as I said at the beginning, I'm no fan of winter. I don't like all the layers. I've never been a big winter sports person. I don't like the ice and the snow. Through COVID, I would try and, maintain a certain amount of physical discipline by running outside, and trust me, the winter was the worst. Admittedly, this is me admitting the other side of the argument, the best seasons to go running in are spring and fall. 100%. Summer, it's even in the mornings when I go, it's still a little too hot, a little too humid. You can still run, but pace suffers. And in winter, it's just brutal. Where I live is one of the only places in the world where the swings in temperature that we have are normal and not ecological disasters. Anywhere else that had the temperature swings that I do, going from minus 30 to plus 30 in the summer, Celsius, that would be utter bedlam, utter chaos. But yeah, I've never been a fan of the season of fall, and I don't really see what the big deal, what the big gain. You have Thanksgiving, which is nice, but a lot of people complain about it anyways because they say, well, we have to go to the family, we have to be there. For the Canadians, it's for like 2 nights, and for the Americans, it's like 4. And they complain that, the family is not necessarily it's not the most relaxing vacation because of, people treat it as an airing of grievances. There's Halloween, but that's for children. I know I'm going to make a couple enemies with that comment. I don't see the fascination, the intense fascination. There are some nice aspects to fall. There's nice things about every season, there's crappy things about every season, but people have really started to just get overly excited about autumn. And it's just become a fad season, I think. Eventually, somebody will say, well, now winter's cool, and then everybody's going to want to do the winter stuff. And then somebody will say, well, summer's pretty awesome, pretty dope as well, and then everybody's going to be on board for summer. I guess it's just autumn's light in autumn's time in the spotlight. It's just, I'm not buying into it. I'm not buying into the fad. I'm not buying into the clique. Things you have to do during the autumn. If you live where I live, you got to change tires. You got to rake leaves. That's not the worst thing in the world. Raking leaves certainly beats shoveling snow to a large degree. But the leaves don't really all come down at once, and that's kind of irritating. It's usually a time of much more traffic as well. There's an adult grievance. In summer, when the kids are off school, at least the traffic is a lot lighter because people tend to be on vacation and such. But in the autumn, traffic's back up to mental. I don't see what's great about that. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Hasn't been that rainy this fall. Actually, today it's been strangely warm here. It should probably be 6, 7 degrees, and it was 26 degrees today. But of course, certain aspects of the world seem to think that climate change doesn't exist. And we're going to get the people that say one day doesn't prove a trend, right? But, I think the summers have been stretching later and later into the year now. Maybe autumn will soon be a thing of the past. Or maybe winter will be the new autumn, comparatively. I mean, I would take an autumn over winter any day. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. It's just the timing. And let's be fair, a lot of the reason that things are scheduled the way they are in autumn is because it's the harvest. Or for many people in the old days, it was the harvest. And that's why school would start in the autumn, because the farming season would be kind of closing out, or at least changing. Maybe I just have a grievance against the timing of agriculture, but it's overhyped. It's overdone. People get too excited about it. I think people need to settle down on the fall memes, need to settle down on the Ugg boots. I think pumpkin spice, there should be a limit to the products that can be made into pumpkin spice. Didn't it start with like a latte and like a muffin? That's where it should stay. There shouldn't be pumpkin spice gum, pumpkin spice candles, pumpkin spice this, pumpkin spice condoms, pumpkin spice IUDs. It's all too ridiculous. I think we can keep it to the lattes and the muffins. Leave it to be something basic people get at Starbucks twice a week. Because, too many of those bloody pumpkin spice lattes, and you'll be diabetic. Has anybody thought of that? Although that does kind of fit in with the season of fall, doesn't it? The season of endings, an ending of diets, an ending of health. I don't know. Overdone. That's all I got for tonight. Quick episode. But I appreciate all of you coming to hang out. And again, you're listening to a middle-aged man in a bathrobe. Try not to take what I say too seriously. Any sort of relevant points that have been made in this or previous episodes have been completely coincidental and utterly unintentional. Any comedy that's been witnessed or experienced has been completely coincidental and completely unintentional. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm having fun. I'm having fun talking to everybody, posting the episodes. I'm loving the comments. Keep them coming. Got some more episodes lined up. Talk about all sorts of topics that you guys are bringing to the table. So keep doing that, because let's hear what you want to hear. Not what I want to rant about, because then we'll just talk about bad this and bad that all day. And you guys will have no idea what I'm ranting about. But, yeah. Enjoy yourselves tonight. Be safe. Stay inside. Put down the pumpkin spice. Go grab yourself a glass of water. Take off your Ugg boots. Put out the bonfire. And let's keep Halloween to the 31st. Cheers, everybody.